Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering onboarding, getting ready to make the switch. This webinar will cover a make the switch recap. We'll go over your make the switch checklist, look at the help center, finalize your account setup and any last minute to-dos you may want to do. We'll talk about make the switch day and what to expect, some post make the switch to-dos, and then we'll get into QuickBooks syncing if you're syncing to QuickBooks, and a live Q&A at the end where you can get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. Now, today's topic is getting ready to make the switch. Before we dive into that, let's start with reviewing your getting started article and just what the onboarding process looks like in general. When you log into your system, you will see a getting started button here. Hover over that and click on the onboarding getting started article. This is your home base for onboarding and learning the software, knowing where to go, looking at the process that you go through. And you've got a welcome video here and onboarding terminology and timeline. So when you very first sign up, you enter into the onboarding stage. You are new to the system, and we start your initial data load. This is the first transfer from your previous software of things like customers, invoices, payments that gets input into your WEX Field Service Management account. And then if you're syncing to QuickBooks, we would ensure that that information will then sync down to your QuickBooks after you start entering those customers, invoices, and payments on your make the switch day. During that time, you will be setting up your account, adding users, and just making sure that any products and services you know you want to use, like the price book, maintenance plans, maybe even checklists, are those set up and ready to go for your team? And that's what we're going to take a look at today, making sure that your account is set up, you have all the settings set that you need, and you are ready to go on Make the Switch Day. This article is a great place to remind you of what Make the Switch means and how you can prepare. But one of the first places it will tell you to go to is called the Help Center. Now, when you're logged in, you will be able to see the Help Center in the bottom right, and that has a little smiley face guy here. And when you click on that, you will see the Help Center. And in the very bottom right, you will see a section called Tasks. Click on that. And this is your onboarding training. This is the main place that you'll want to go to learn how to use the software and navigate your way around and getting checklists for setting up your account. If you are syncing to QuickBooks, I recommend you do the QuickBooks Sync training. Depending on whether you are QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online will make a difference, and whatever your account is set up as is what you'll see here. This test account that I'm in right now is a QuickBooks Desktop syncer, and that does require a sync tool. So if you're syncing to QuickBooks Desktop, you got to have that tool for that sync to work, and you can sign up for a meeting for us to install that tool for you. If you're QuickBooks Online, however, it does not require a sync tool. You don't have to do an install. We'll just use the credentials that you gave us when you signed up and be able to link to your cloud. No extra tool or meeting needed for QuickBooks Online members. But this is just a reminder really to go through if you are syncing and look at all of these tabs, just so you're in the know of how the sync works. Next, let's look at initial setup. So clicking into initial setup, This is really the question you should ask yourself is, have I done all of the things in this training? Have you added all of your users? That if once you add a user, you'll create a username and password. You can give that then to your office crew, your technicians, service managers, and they'll be able to log in and use the software. Assign dispatch groups. Do you have your scheduling preferences set up, your dispatch group set up? I recommend going to all of these pages, your business details, job types, contract terms, warranties, pricing defaults, and price book are all things you're going to be using every day. When you create a invoice or proposal, what is on your business details page is going to be on those job forms. When you are creating new jobs, your job types is how you're going to categorize the different types of jobs, which will help you filter in your reports. Contract terms is the legal terms that come along with the jobs that you do and so forth. So these are just all things you're going to see every day. So we recommend going to these pages and setting your preferences to your liking. Once you're done, you will be able to complete this and see your progress bar go up and know that you have completed this training. Initial setup, or sorry, let's go back. We just did that one. Let's look, learn the basics. That's what I was looking for. So learn the basics. This will help you navigate around the software. Talk about appointments and jobs. Office Basics is a great video that you can watch, and that will show you just the basics of using things you would use in the office, setting up appointments, adding customers, taking payments, etc. Running jobs from the field is going to be our mobile app training. This is something you can even send to your technicians. And I believe this links out to a YouTube video. Actually, let's click on it. Oh my goodness. Wait, this video isn't available. Okay, we're learning that right now together that link is broken. So actually, let me take a screenshot of that. I will fix that right after this. And let's name this broken link. If you do come across something like this where there's a broken link, you could just take a screenshot like I'm doing now and send it to customer support. Go to home and contact support and just let them know. And then they'll write me a message. I am in charge of these. I mean, I go through and I make sure that these are set, but I do share the space with some others. So, sometimes people might remove something. However, let's go back and go to learn the basics. And same thing from here, payments and insights. Now this has me curious. Are all these messed up? No. Okay. And they're YouTube links. So, you can just copy and paste these and send out to whoever you need to. And then advanced learning will bring you to the video courses and webinars page, which is another place, especially after onboarding, you're going to go to really learn the software and expand your learning of the software. So this is the video courses and webinars page. That is actually a great segue to this page. We're going to take a step back. I'm going to show you how you can get here without needing to go through the training module. So all of these are great for helping you train with the software and getting prepared. Let's go back to home. And then down below, we have video courses and webinars. And you're going to frequent this anytime you want to join a webinar. So right here, you can see our calendar and join our webinars. Scroll down, you have video courses and then past webinars. So today's session, if you want to watch a replay of this, will be right here, onboarding, getting ready to make the switch. And if you ever see a topic that you really want to join, but maybe the time doesn't work for you, that's okay. You will see all of the replays right here. Okay, so that is training resources. Going to the tasks section, making sure you're going through these and reading. That will help you be in the know of what to prepare for making the switch. Going to video courses and webinars, maybe something that you dive more into after you make the switch. And then we also have what's called Solution Studio. This is something that is new. These are advanced working sessions. So after you've made the switch, you're feeling more confident. Maybe you want to learn how to run your maintenance plan program a little better. So these are one-on-one sessions with a live coach, and well, they are group sessions. So it's like you being able to work with someone in real time, just like we are now, only it's a little more open. We're all talking, and you get to meet other business owners as well in these sessions, which is cool. Okay, so that is sort of coverage of training, a way for you to go in and learn the software, remind yourself of things that you may want to check before you make the switch. And now let's actually go and take a look at where to actually do some of these things. So if you're getting ready to make the switch, one of the first things you need to ask yourself is, do I have all of my users added into the system? If not, that's okay, but I recommend doing that as soon as you can. So you'll want to go to Settings, User Management, Users. From here, you'll click Add User and fill out the information. The email and password that you have here is the login credentials that this user will use when it's time for them to log in and use the system. If you want them to show up on the schedule page, so let's just look at that real quick. If I know that this user I'm setting up, I want them to be included in scheduling, I will need to make sure they are assigned to a dispatch group. If you create your users and you do not assign a dispatch group, they will not be able to they won't be seen on the schedule page. And then permissions, these are all personal preference. Just so you know, an admin has full access to everything. Office has full access to everything, but you can come in and customize really exactly what you want them to see and not see. You have some restrictions that you can set. Maybe you have a person who's in the office, you want them to focus on scheduling, but you don't want them to see all of your income reports. You can simply restrict those. And then field users do not have access to the desktop, to the desktop side. They only have access to the mobile app. So if you have someone who works in the field and you would consider them a field user because that's where they mainly work, but they're more of a manager and they need access to more things, I would set them as a admin user. That way they can go online and use the desktop version. If they need to, they can even access that through their mobile device from a browser versus using the mobile app. But field users, nice and simple, keeps them on the app and focused on just running jobs. Okay, once you have filled out all the information, make sure you click Save to add that user to your subscription. That's adding users. Next is how to set up dispatch groups. So if you have not done this, I recommend doing this as well. Go to Settings, User Management, Dispatch Groups. This is where you set up those groups we were talking about. So if I'm on the schedule page, we can see right here there's a drop down for groups. I have set up an all users group, which allows me to see everybody on my team. And then I have field techs. I've got office. and it's just a way for you to organize your team. From the setup page here for dispatch groups, oh, wrong one, you'll click Add Dispatch Group, put in the name of the group. I recommend having at least one group that's for all your users so you can see everybody at once. And then it's personal preference, whatever you want to make after that. Say who you want in the group and click Save. Next is price book. If you're going to create invoices, sell products on those invoices, you need to have a price book to pull from and have that pricing already preset. You can custom build your own price book. Once you are ready to start doing this, you can go to More Applications, Price Book, and you'll want to set up your price book categories, your pricing defaults, your warranties, and then from My Price Book, this is where you're actually adding products. Now, I'm not going to do a full tutorial on how to set up your price book. If you're interested in that, you can always just go down to the Help Center, type in the help, and literally just type in price book, and all of our price book materials will show up here. We do also have live training sessions where we walk through exactly how to set those up, so you can always go to a price book webinar. But making sure you have at least a couple items in your price book before you make the switch is good. Your technicians will be able to create proposals and invoices out in the field, access the price book, pull items from the price book onto those job forms, and sell straight to the customer out in the field. If you are wanting to set up your, maybe you'll make the switch without a full price book, but at least having a couple items in there will allow your technicians to pull those items on, and then they can edit and as needed. So you could even just make one general part and one general labor, and that's enough to get started. Your technicians then in the moment can add a couple of those template parts and labor and then edit them as needed for the job that they're working on. And over time, you can build out your price book to be more specific. Okay. Also, do you run a maintenance plan program? If so, you'll want to go to More Applications, Maintenance Plans. Same thing here. I'm not going to do a full run through of maintenance plans, but if you want that, you can always go to the Help Center and come to a live maintenance training or watch a replay or a tutorial. For maintenance plans, you just want to make sure that you come in and set up your maintenance plan templates. This will allow you to put the contract length, the frequency, the service windows when you'll go out and actually provide the services. And then once you have this set here, you can then sell these maintenance plans on your jobs in the office or out in the field. All right. So those are just some items you'll want to take a look at. Make sure you're setting up. As long as you have users in your account, they can log in and use the system. Your dispatch groups are set up so your team is organized when you schedule. You have your users that you want to schedule added to the dispatch groups so they show up on the schedule page. And then any feature you plan to use. Set up your price book, set up your maintenance plans, checklists, etc. Next, let's talk about make the switch day. So right now you are pre-make the switch. That means you have not made the switch yet, and you would still be entering your customers, your invoices, your payments into your previous software currently. So until you make the switch day, you're still doing business as usual the way you did it before signing up for WEX Field Service Management. However, on make the switch day, right? You're going to go to sleep the night before, wake up in the morning, and start using WEX Field Service Management as your main software. So let's see what that looks like. On your make the switch day, you will log into your system and the system will recognize it's make the switch day and you will see a pop-up notification from the help center. And this will say your make the switch day has arrived. Congratulations. And this is where we're going to set up the supplemental data load. Now, some context on that data load. The initial data load is when we load the majority of your customers' invoices, payments, your data is in the system. However, from sign up to your make the switch day, you're still entering data into that previous software. So we need to collect the last bit of data so we have a full historical record from your previous system. This is what helps set up that second data load to grab the rest of your stuff. So from here, you will say, we did make the switch today. So yes, let's go. If you did not make the switch, that is not the end of the world. Let's say on make the switch day, you still have techs who haven't downloaded the app and you're just not feeling ready. You'll just say, no, I need to reschedule, or even I need help, and you can talk to somebody. But let's say you're ready to go. You will say, yes, let's go. Great. What date did you stop entering your old software? That would be today's date because we entered yesterday, but not today. Today, we're going to stop entering customers' invoices and payments into our previous software and start entering that into WEX FSM. So you'll put that date. And the final part here, it will say, fantastic, now let's get the rest of your data. And it will give you instructions based on your personal data load, how to do this. This one is asking for a submission of a QuickBooks desktop file. If your QuickBooks desktop, it may look something like this. Okay, so that's what to expect now. Once you have set this up, the data team will initiate the second data load. We'll load the rest of your data into WEX FSM, but the sync will be off during this time. This is a part that I always like to really make sure we are clear on. So on make the switch day, you will start entering your customers' invoices and payments into WEX FSM, but the sync will be off while we do your secondary data load. During that time, you'll be entering that data into WEX FSM and it will just store there. So you won't see that sync down to QuickBooks just yet until the supplemental data load is finished, typically 3 to 5 business days. And once that is done, you will get a message from the data team letting you know that your data has been loaded and the sync has been turned on. Then any new info that you would have added since make the switch day will sync down to your QuickBooks. All right. And then the final thing we're going to go over before we get into our Q&A is just some post make the switch day to-dos. After you make the switch, you are going to keep using the software. And sometimes you'll run into certain scenarios where you see a duplicate customer. Like usually what happens during a data load is you see the things that are unorganized, things you haven't looked at in years. Now you're re-examining. So this is a great way or a great opportunity to clean up your data now that it's, you're breaking it open, loading it into a new software, etc. One way that you can do this, so there's a couple things. Payments. If you have payments that are not assigned to an invoice, when they're loaded into your system, they will be known as unassigned payments. Now, as long as it's assigned in your QuickBooks, it's going to come in and be assigned in WEX FSM. But there may be payments you just did not know were not assigned. So if you do ever run into that, this is what it looks like. It says this customer has 4 payments and credits that are not fully applied to an invoice. Click on that. And then from here, you can click on the edit pencil and just reassign the payment. If you know that there's no invoice, you can just go build the invoice and then reassign this to that invoice afterwards. Once you click reassign payment, it will let you see all of the invoices for this address. Select the invoice you want to apply it to, and then continue forward. I don't have $100 invoice in here right now, but you can just apply these unassigned payments to invoices from here and kind of clean up this list. So that's one thing to look out for. You just simply navigate to a customer profile and go to the payments tab. Next is merging customers. So we're just going to, right next to the schedule tab, we're going to click on customers. Now we're loading in one-to-one from your previous software. So whatever was in your previous software, we're loading in. But over the years, you may enter someone as Bob Jones, and then later someone else adds them as Bobby Jones. Now you have two of the same customer. If you had two in QuickBooks, you're going to see two in WEX. And it's really easy to merge, but there is a process to do that. So once your data is loaded, I would recommend waiting until after your supplemental data load is complete. Do not change or update or try to do any merging during that interim time after you make the switch before the sync is turned on. Let the data run its course. Sometimes even in the supplemental load, we will merge duplicates if it, makes sense to do so. After that, you can still come in here, select the two accounts you want to merge, click merge, and you really just read what it says. This is showing that we need to select a master. So let's say Bobby Jones will be the master. And then right here, it says, warning, not performing this merge in QuickBooks will result in sync errors if the master customer selected in QuickBooks is not the same as the master in WEX FSM. So all you need to do for this is make sure that you first do the merge in QuickBooks. So merge those two accounts and pick the same master account. Then when you do the merge in WEX FSM, it will sync down, find its match, and you'll have no sync errors. Really just the biggest thing to know here is do the merge in QuickBooks first. That's the biggest rule. And then once these merge, you're not going to miss out on anything. It's going to take any exact duplicates and merge those one-to-one. Anything that is not a duplicate, it will just put it into the new folder. Okay. And then the final thing is where to find your training. So if you are wanting to just dive deeper into getting ready for making the switch, you will click on well, actually, I would say for this, well, let's do both. So you can go to the Help Center. You can go to Tasks. So remember, you have training here. If you need help, just one-to-one, you can contact support. If you want to see video courses and webinars to attend, from the Home tab, go to Video Courses and Webinars. Sign up for live training here. Watch our video courses here. And watch our webinar replays from here. Of course, if you do have any questions, we are moving to our Q&A now. But before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Onboarding, Getting Ready to Make the Switch.